And now for the adventures of the white privilege boy. Hey, buddies, what do you want to do today? You want to go down to the arcade and play pinball?
No.
I know. How about we play hide and seek?
We did that last week.
I know. Want to take our accurate to replica BB guns and commit an armed robbery?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds fun. Let's do it. All right, let's do it. Yeah. Oh, those boys. What pickle will they find themselves in next? Stay tuned for next week's installment of Adventures of the White Privilege Boys.
Louder with Crowder is brought to you in part by .com. Head over to the shop, support the fight, and buy some cool threads. It's the Tits Pajamas. .com.
That was wonderful. That was a condolences sip for our viewers in New Jersey who still live in hell.
That was going to happen.
Sorry,
Apologies
Sorry
for that. Something about 3 a.m. I don't know. Post dating. We have a lot to talk about today. Some updates on the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and by updates I mean some information that you already know, but you get to see the surprise faces on prosecution and everybody who didn't actually follow the news or watch the footage. We have a 7+1. Actually, we have exclusive Alec Baldwin excuses.
Oh, okay, good.
For murder rampage. And I'm letting you know ahead of time. We are going to be talking about, because of the swing now with female voters, and it was trending yesterday, #whitewomen. If you want to go check that out on Twitter, just to get your dose of racism for the day.
Just feel bad about humanity.
There's the golden penis syndrome. It happens to coincide. It was written about at New York Post.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was a Washington Post column. I'm not entirely sure. But there's a real problem now where women are finding themselves, a lot of you out there, finding yourself unhappy. And I think, look, I'm front-loading this here, which is what my therapist says. You know, like, hey, sweetie, I know you're great at decorating the house, and I appreciate the woman's touch and make a house a home, but I hate those nightstands.
Says this to you?
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry.
Was
Can you
it
say the
sweetie?
name of this syndrome again? I'm sorry. I may have misheard.
Golden penis syndrome.
It's
golden.
gold.
It's gold. I love gold. But look,
Remember.
Oh.
I am letting you know, women right now, if you're watching, listening, this is something that I know I've called men to the mat for being fatherless, not being fatherless, for creating fatherless homes, for not being responsible for this feminization of men and men not taking their leadership role seriously and leading their families. And there is this, so I hope you understand that this all comes from a place of love. Same thing with women. We had some real wins going on there this week. Let's try and build some real momentum with that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. But first, Gerald A., how are you?
I am well. Speaking of this, best dad ever.
Best dad ever.
Yeah, I mean, it found me.
Now, is it libel or slander if it's written?
That's mean.
Quarter Black Garrett, how are you?
Good morning. What's going on?
Yeah. What's, you have a Chicago Bulls?
And does that
Never
one of my nice
been to
jacket.
Chicago.
It's back when they were good.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the
90s.
the Michael Jordan.
Oh,
How
okay.
could you not be?
I don't know. So you're not a LeBron guy?
No.
No. I'm a Magic Johnson guy. Straight as an arrow, and he will be at the Cotillion, Wichita, Kansas, November 11th, this weekend in Philadelphia. Go see him. It's life-changing. Dave Landau, how are you?
Yes, ahoy. I'm good. I realize in the camera now that I should have just buttoned the top button and thrown on some sunglasses like a Vata.
What are you auditioning for Eddie Bauer here today?
I've Edward James Olmos casting American Me.
I love how you said Vata.
Yeah, Vata.
What's wrong with Vato?
I don't understand the reference.
I respect Mexican gangsters. You mess with those people.
All right.
Yeah,
you don't.
we all
You're
know.
so scary.
Cartels, they mean business. Oh, we'll also be talking about Aaron Rodgers. That's Gerald. Because, immunization versus vaccination. It's
a different
This
thing.
is something that, now because of the CDC and changing definitions, doesn't mean anything.
Not anymore.
So we find another excuse, people find another excuse to screech about it.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to miss some time.
No, I was immunized, Mr. Building. So, by the way,
He
also,
did.
if you are watching right now, we never know with the YouTube. It's a live show Monday through Thursday. You can watch us. If you don't see it here, you can watch it on Rumble. Okay, you can watch it on MugClub. The show goes on. Mm-hmm. It just may not be on YouTube. We don't know how to tell you any more effectively than that. Okay, before we go on to everything else, let's watch this another video from Libs of TikTok. They do some good work.
They do.
This time a woman wants to actually, and I know I don't mean, when I say literally, I don't mean figuratively.
Like most people.
Yeah. She literally wants to kill the unvaxxed.
What?
Yeah. It's Amy Schumer got into a particle accelerator and joined Weight Watchers here.
So finally some good news. Kids can get the vaccine 5 and up starting next week.
Come on.
That's great news. And as soon as these guys can get it too, all bets are off. You anti-vaxxers, all bets are off. If I can spread it like unknowingly after that, I'm going to sneeze on you. A lot of you.
Attempted murder.
All bets are off because we're all done. We're all done with you. So as soon as these guys can be safe, screw the rest of you.
She looks like she's about to eat
the rest
him.
Of you. Sad thing is, some of your kids
You'll
will die,
float too.
but I hope they don't. Maybe they'll just take your kids from you. That'd be good.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Whoa. Well, you know what? How about this? You first.
What an awful bitch.
Yeah.
There's really no other way to put
No, what
that.
a horrible-
Sorry. Sorry if you have
it's
kids in
accurate.
the room, but you know I'm right.
I'm going to spit on you. It's like, well, look, first off, I'm not afraid of you spitting on me because of the COVID, but because of everything else you have.
Yeah, it's
What do
gross.
you?
Yeah.
What, yeah. What do you think will happen if the government starts showing up at people's doors trying
sneezing
to
on them?
take their children for not being vaccinated against COVID-19? And just do me a favor and go to the CDC website and just look up the stats. I'm not even going to mention them here. Just go do some research on.
And the government, they wouldn't even show up with guns anymore. They would just show up with her as a rifle, like when Elmer Fudd would straighten out Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, you might hand over your kids if you have to talk to her for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, I just...
preemptively. Like,
That's true. And I love my kids, but if she showed up, I would be like, all right, here they go. My son would be like the kid in Hook. You didn't even try. You didn't even try.
And you're like, yeah, no, you're right. Do you look
Reach
at her?
out and touch your father's hand, Peter. You didn't even try.
But
It's sad.
I don't know what we're allowed to say on here. This sucks. I don't know what we're allowed to say on YouTube,
But don't worry, we'll be on MugClub after.
Okay, but
we
let's
can
just say
expound loose.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
If she had this vaccine, what's the problem?
Right. Yeah. No, she can still get sick and she
Right.
can still spread it and she can still be hospitalized.
Well, that seems odd.
Yeah. So in other words, she's spitting on everyone else just to make our likelihood of contracting COVID the same as hers.
I think she just wants to
Potentially,
spit on people.
allegedly,
she just
maybe.
wants to spit on people.
Yeah.
Well, look.
It's a
come on.
kink.
Spit's not enough.
I hate
don't wanna-
people.
What is this,
Rude.
Dune? And she's sharing her body moisture with us?
Yep.
It's a good film.
Spit on it.
Visually stunning.
For crying out loud. I'm going to spit on you. Maybe take your kids. That'll be nice. Look, women, and this is what I'm going to talk with you about later. Do you see? Are you starting to get the picture? Do you see what's happening? Do you see how the left has taken you for granted? They thought that all you cared about was your vagina, was abortion. Do you see? They're coming after your kids. They're coming after your kids. And by the way, it was overwhelmingly men who opposed putting kids on puberty blockers. Look at the custody battles. It's the father saying, no, we're going too far. When you open that door, women like this can come in and spit on you and take your kids if they don't take a vaccine, which, by the way, internationally is not agreed upon. As a matter of fact, the agreement is that we don't need to be vaccinating 5-year-olds.
Right.
In other countries. Of course, the United States
Not in the United
has gotten it
States.
right,
Right.
and you should give it to all feti.
She's
Correct.
well, she's got to be a grandmother, right? There's no way.
I mean, because of the...
Did you see her
Because
face?
bitch needs to moisturize.
Oh, there's no way that's the mom.
No, I have no idea.
she-
I think it was the mom.
Her womb is the Sahara.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
What? Look,
It's
did
like
you
no,
see her?
her womb is Dune.
Yes, it is Dune. It's directed by David Lynch.
Oh yeah, that one for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
would be that one.
She's definitely got a Lynch womb.
Yeah, it's a dystopian future womb
Yes.
that was filmed in Detroit.
Yeah. There's just one baby, the Eraserhead baby in the room.
It's just a fetus and all. Just a fetus. Like no, and all the antibodies show up like that first scene in RoboCop.
Mommy loves you.
No, you don't.
Okay. Hey, speaking of which, why are do women out? This is my question today. because I know there's been a divide among women, but also women are nicer than men, and so you've been way more tolerant of feminist whores than you should be. Do you acknowledge now that feminist whores have ruined a lot for the rest of you out there? Like, it's time to clean house. I really hope that we continue this after Virginia. Overwhelming repudiation. And you know what it took? It took women going from, I want to be a working professional and women can do everything men can do, to mama bear. That's what happened in Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. It switched back. And if it continues in any way, shape, or form, 2022 is going to be a landslide.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it should
Keep it going.
By the way, you can also follow us on TikTok before we move on. That's where all the chai coms are. No doubt we'll be banned again.
You got to play their game.
Yeah, we're going to be taking your
Fighting
live
their
chats
court.
later. It's Super Chat Thursday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But this is another thing. You know, former Vice President Joe Biden, he had one of those breakthrough poopings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Despite having a fecal transplant, he had one of the breakthrough self-soiling.
Really?
Yeah, but it's worse. He lost another bodily function, swallowing. Which brings us to This Week in Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
At approximately, excuse me, I beg your pardon, I swallowed wrong.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I'm sorry, did that senator just say he swallowed wrong?
Sucker can't
Dave?
breathe.
Dave, no.
What?
Careful, Dave, we are on YouTube.
No.
Dave, stop. Stop.
Hey.
We get it, that it writes itself.
Tantrum.
Oh, you wonder why China doesn't respect us. Oh, silly man, swallow wrong. Don't know how to swallow. Oh, yeah, maybe next time chew gum and walk at the same time. Mr. Man, no swallow. What you do?
I held it in. I didn't spit it out.
That's a good job, actually.
Oh, yeah, you country with man or with president who can't swallow.
It's good. He's drinking what is he drinking? Is it NyQuil? Just a glass
immediately
of
goes
like
to sleep.
green stuff.
I feel better now.
This is going to put me out right after this. And I'm going to wake up and not know who I am until
take my
someone
nap.
reminds me I'm president.
Those 10 seconds before I figured that out are glorious.
It's like 51st Dates. He has to like retell that he's president every time he wakes up.
Remember how angry they were that Donald Trump one time had a shaky hand when he had to drink water, which can happen to anyone who has a flu, anyone who's sick, anyone who's
have
had a
something
bicep
strange.
injury.
Yeah.
Could have worked out that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, it's just I worked the buys. And I got the head of the tries, but the buys, and so I need to hold this now because it's all the lactic acid buildup. That asshole can't swallow. Oh, he's right. Mr. President can't swallow. Here in China, we have swallow. Bird, you can't even do.
You think he's sitting around watching TV like, I lost to that guy?
Yeah, I know.
Every single time. Like,
Yeah, well,
Well, it was the most legitimate election in history.
It was
lost.
the most
There
free,
were
fair,
quotes.
secure,
Yes.
I know that.
confirmed
Air quotes,
election
lost.
of all time
That's a
because
fact.
all major metropolitan areas are determined at 3:30 a.m. All right, it is time for this has been everywhere. Aaron Rodgers, and I know nothing about the athletic endeavors. It's time for Gerald Knows Sports.
Wide open. He scores!
Okay, so Gerald, and correct me if I have this right.
okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
You have it right.
Not
it won't
Aaron
correct.
Hernandez.
He's a player, correct?
He is a jugador.
He's a Spanish
What
bullfighter.
did you say?
Oh,
He's a player.
He's a bullfighter?
yeah, is that what you're
What I
saying?
said. No.
Sounded like a
Okay, he hosts the show. Don't even know who the quarterback is.
He's a
Can't swallow. What you do?
he's a star quarterback in the NFL. Perhaps one of the best in history next to Tom Brady and maybe a couple of other guys. And he has been ruled out, it's a very sad day, for Sunday's game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was supposed to play against one of the very best quarterbacks in the league. And so everybody was looking forward to...
It was like a dream matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Like in MMA, it's like George St. Pierre fighting somebody like today who's amazing.
Yes.
And everybody wants to see it.
Elle
It's not supposed to
McPherson and
happen.
Kathy Ireland pillow
Right.
fighting.
So Patrick Mahomes
Yes.
is the quarterback, and it's just not going to happen. These guys don't really play each other very often. But he was asked this summer, so he's out because of a positive test for COVID. The NFL has stupid rules about it, but he was asked this summer about his vaccination
Did that
status.
TikTok bitch spit on him?
She did.
We should
did.
look into that. Maybe we can find some high res footage. From drones.
That's the problem with these women. They
It
don't know who they hurt.
Well, you got to listen.
No.
You got to listen to his response.
She said baby is the football. Help it.
Yeah.
Get it out of that home.
So you're going to like this about Aaron. Here's his response when asked about his vaccination status.
Okay.
Any conversation. Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized.
Okay, hold on. before you say anything else, that is 19D chess. That's a guy who knows how to swallow properly. Because he said immunized. He said immunized. That is the term that was used forever. All the shots that we got as kids, it was the CDC that changed it with the COVID vaccine because it doesn't immunize you. This is the previous definition was a product that stimulates a person's immune system to produce immunity to specific disease, protecting the person from that disease. The new definition is a preparation that is used to stimulate the body's immune response against diseases. So it protects against now. It's not immunizes. So that was some clever wordplay.
We literally had to change the definition because of, COVID has had a lot of effects. It has changed the definition of words, unfortunately.
People are spitting on me wherever I walk.
Well, that's true. I mean, but that's them being nice to you.
Yeah.
Apparently, Rodgers received
long before COVID.
Yes.
Well, you never. I mean, he was trying to build his immune system. The more time
it's a cat call.
It's a signal. A bat signal.
It's funny when he tries to catch it in his mouth every single time. I have no idea why.
Look, it's a skill. It'd be wrong to waste.
What do you want to hit the ground?
Yeah, well, true. But look, apparently Aaron Rodgers received a homeopathic treatment from his personal doctor.
We're on YouTube.
Stop it. The NFL does not count that as being vaccinated.
Well, that's fair.
That's true.
I'll give them that.
NFL policy says an unvaccinated player has to isolate after a positive test for 10 days. Unvaccinated players also have to test every single day. And by the way, when they travel with the team, if you're unvaccinated, you actually don't get to travel with the team. You have to travel separately, and then you have to test before you rejoin the team, and you can't hang out with the team in the hotel. It's ridiculous. Their policies are absolutely stupid.
Well, I understand that if you test positive, you shouldn't be able to...
No. If you're unvaccinated... Well, hold on. If you test positive, okay, was he not out on the field practicing with people? Like, was he not face-to-face with people all the time?
Is this a trick question? I don't know anything about sports.
It's not a trick question because he tested positive.
Yes, he was.
He could have been positive for 5 days on the practice field.
There was a practice
at some point.
I believe the term is scrimmage, correct?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Well,
you'll like this. There's some information about Aaron Rodgers that I think we're going to get to the bottom of here. So he's refused to take the vaccine, apparently, and I'm thinking he might actually be secretly based.
This is way too much work for that stinger.
It really is, but it's nice.
Very detailed.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's good.
So,
isn't he married to that? Well, hold on a second. Is he married to that crazy broad Shailene Woodley who thinks deodorant is a government form of mind control? She thinks that the firefighters have a switch they flip to chemtrails.
Well, pretty engaged. And he's still got time to back out, right? So let's give him some credit for that. But I think
the map to our crazies.
That's a fair point. But
the fault in our crazies. Sorry, the map to our.
No backing out. They're married.
They're actually married.
Oh my gosh!
Never mind.
Also, that's his form of birth control. Is
there goes my.
It's homeopathic.
No, I do. Other than that, I think I have some pretty solid,
that he's secretly based.
Pretty solid evidence.
Yeah, I need to see these.
I do feel confident in things I say, and I do stand behind what I do, and I like to speak the truth. And I'm not a part of this, woke cancel culture that gets off on trying to silence people all the time.
Confirmed.
That looks like 3 guys that are going to rob a train.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah,
one like to let everybody know I'm not
payroll in there.
Is that the coward Robert Ford?
Yeah.
The title was way too long on that one, by the way.
No, one guy is the one who looks like he got his things shot off in Pulp Fiction, who's in a
little bit
scumbag in every movie.
Or they could be a lacrosse team.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Big night for the Duke lacrosse team.
All right, let's wrap this up here, Joe.
2 weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers says that he is absolutely 100% secretly based.
And that's why they're going after him, you think?
And that's why they're going after him.
All right.
I think you're right.
That makes sense. Gerald does know sports.
Oh, is that the story?
We don't care.
Wide open. He scores!
All right, now on to stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
All you men who wear another man's name on your back, did he pin you with his class ring?
Oh, shut up.
He did.
It's not gay at all to support your team.
No.
Tell us more about MMA and the heterosexuality of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I acknowledge it.
Yes.
It's not latently homosexual. It's blatantly homosexual.
You go
That's
north,
true.
south.
You're not.
I'm going to pin you.
Yeah.
North-south is what position again, Stephen?
Yeah, north-south is head and crotch.
Yes.
Both ways, huh?
We call that 69 in the Dayton game.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Yeah, well, I should tell you about Turtle. So,
That's just a Tuesday night in the Buttigieg family.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, not so much
lower, man.
Not so much anymore. It's hard when you're breastfeeding, so you got to spice it up.
Yeah. True. He's drinking a lot of milk, trying to make milk.
Not working.
He's just mixing hops in Similac.
Just growing breasts.
Dave.
The babies are just skeletons and cuffs.
Men can have milk ducts.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, there was a rumor that I won't.
No, it's. I mean, not a
medical condition.
There's a rumor that Steven
milk.
Seagal used to
lactate
produce when he was aroused.
Really?
Yes, I don't know if it's true.
I bet it's true. It's got to be true.
Listen, when I lactate, bad things happen.
High protein levels.
I have registered lethal weapon hands.
Yes.
That's why I have to be very careful when I eat in public.
Yes. I'm also not allowed to carry these hands into an establishment that makes more than 50% of the profit off alcohol. Because it's like I'm carrying. Do you see what I'm saying?
I have a great ponytail, and I can feed your baby with my ninja tits. Yeah. What a worthless man. You and I watched, what was it?
What was it?
Which was it, DMX?
It was DMX.
It was written by a 4-year-old.
Yeah, we laughed so. The greatest line ever, they go into like, they're looking at.
Yeah. It's like 10 minutes of them looking over security camera footage, right? And Steven's. Sorry, we're going to get to Kyle Rittenhouse in a little bit. This is totally relevant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it Exit Wounds with DMX?
It's Exit Wounds. Exit Wounds. Yes, it was.
I don't know what we were thinking.
Yeah.
But I think we ordered halal guys and watched Exit Wounds.
What?
And I'll set it up.
Are you serious?
All the other characters in the film are going over security camera footage. I think it was like a bank heist.
Oh, yeah, they're looking at like the kind of watch he has, what time it was. Like, they're being very detailed.
Yeah, like, oh, he has this kind of watch. Well, if that's a fake, he only could have picked it up at 23rd and 4th or whatever. And they're going through all these details on the security camera footage to try and identify the thief. And after about 5 minutes, Steven Seagal speaks up. Hand to God.
He's black.
Good call,
when he
Steven.
sees DMX, it's like, we just both laugh for 10 minutes because like everybody in the room's going to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We have eyes.
And he's acting like he figured out. He's black.
I've got it.
Steven, why don't you go teach us how to run?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, why don't you ask Usain Bolt? I taught him everything he knows.
Oh, did you?
I'm going to just wear a vest with no shirt under it and play a little guitar. Do you guys mind?
Yes. And I'm going to cut 2 holes in the vest just because it gets heavy.
Yes.
So,
I can't feed your baby without my nipple.
Ninja.
What if he was called by the butt gigs as a midwife?
He probably was.
You check that baby. You check that baby.
I'll deliver that baby.
You'll find milk.
You will find a male nipple in him.
I've delivered thousands of babies.
I've delivered thousands of babies and killed many chickens.
I've given a C-section just by going like this.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. I look at him and he's circumcised. Why are you looking at baby penis? No, I don't. You do.
It's a hobby.
It's a procedure.
Right. This way got off the beam. All right.
See him burning his computer. I said the wrong thing.
He's pouring bleach on top of it. That's not
OxyClean powder. It doesn't work. This is he's calling the customer service line.
Hillary.
Hello, guy with beard from OxyClean. There's still kitty porn on my iMac.
And I bleached it twice.
I need a sham wow. Been scouting circumcisions again.
All right. Well, then, while you're there, get me Jack LaLanne. I could use a juicer. So, I've put on a few pounds since the pandemic. Yeah. So, okay. So this is what's going on with Kyle Rittenhouse. All right. This is important here because if you were looking at the leftist media, you will notice a trend. They are admitting they were wrong about everything because they know they can be sued now. So I have seen multiple outlets saying it was initially reported that he had taken weapons across state lines. Mm-hmm. We were incorrect. Yeah, because you were the ones who initially reported it. So we initially reported that Rosenbaum was being chased by Kyle Rittenhouse. We now know that is incorrect. Yes, because you're the ones who made it up. There was plenty of footage available. However, there is more footage that was made available. We did our stream. You can go and watch it for 4.5 hours. We covered the opening statements. Here's the thing. There's a new report that shows the FBI had HD, an HD version of the footage that we showed on, and we're going to show it to you again, that they did not give the defense and they may have destroyed. Wow. So keep this in mind too. I'm about to show you this footage. The prosecuting attorney said there's FBI footage, too, that the public has not seen, which we think will show that Rittenhouse was chasing Rosenbaum. First off, why was that not given to the defense? That's not how this works with evidence. That's how it's absolutely supposed to happen. Why did the FBI withhold this information? And by the way, it doesn't help the prosecution at all. When you watch this, it's very, very clear that Kyle Rittenhouse was chased into a kill trap by Rosenbaum and the man who fired the first shot. This is the kind of footage that the FBI was sitting on that could easily result in the dismissal of all charges, exoneration, and hopefully an apology. The FBI is not your friend. The FBI is using this as a political tool. They had this footage this whole time. If they were interested in making sure that the guilty are put behind bars and that the innocent go free, this is something that not only would have been in line with precedent as far as presenting evidence, both sides in a court case need to be able to review all evidence, but it also would be the right thing to do. So here's the non-HD version, which is heavily edited. The only one that exists according to the FBI, which we played on Tuesday. So you see, they're yelling, get him, get him, get him. Rittenhouse is saying, friendly, friendly, friendly. And that is Rosenbaum, who now runs out from behind the car to chase Kyle Rittenhouse. Do you see that right there? He's clearly chasing Kyle Rittenhouse. And Rosenbaum's last words, keep in mind, serial pedophile, to a minor were, fuck you.
Yeah.
Nice.
How's that for irony?
Yeah. By the way, so there's context here too. In that last part of the video,
he forgot to say I want to.
Fuck me?
No.
Fuck you.
I mean, will you?
Just for context, he was running between cars. On the other side of those cars was an even larger crowd of people, and you could see the guy chasing him, Rosenbaum, closing the distance.
Well, what you can see is Kyle Rittenhouse is running.
He's trying
and then
to get
you
away.
see Rosenbaum go between the cars. That's where he puts a face covering on, a T-shirt, whatever it is. We don't know why. Could be to cover his identity. Could be because all of a sudden he's like, oh, COVID's still real.
Yeah.
And then he decides to run around the car and chase him. So
From behind, yeah.
From behind. And then a gunshot is fired. And the guy's yelling, get him, get him, get him. And Rosenbaum's last words are, fuck you, as Kyle Rittenhouse turns around and hears gunshots. Come on, guys. And this is something that the FBI always had access to?
Yeah. And by the way, when asked about this, the FBI said that they lost.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
We lost it.
Where
Well,
the
look, you're
FBI
either
looks.
incompetent or dishonest. Take your pick. But you shouldn't be in charge of anything, folks.
No. And for those of you who watch CNN, I don't know why, if you were watching it just a second ago as we introed this story, they were showing that same footage, but their lower third said, new footage release shows moments before Kyle Rittenhouse opens fire.
Yeah.
That's how they phrased it. And then instead of putting the people's name on it, they put person of interest 1, person of interest 2, so you couldn't tell who was chasing who or who was coming out from behind a car.
Oh, I thought they were just saying that these were interesting people.
Oh, well, they were like, oh, that's an interesting fellow.
Well, you know what? And you know how when you don't know what to say, like, that's interesting? That's usually what I say about a 5-time child rapist. I'm like, that's interesting.
And he just got out of the hospital.
Do go on.
Yeah, do go on.
Do tell.
How long? So you're out of jail? Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. You're
and
walking the streets?
And your iCloud is linked to Steven Seagal's hard drive? Wow, that's
strange.
weird.
Wow.
That's strange.
I knew Rosenbaum before he was cool.
Allegedly.
Prosecuting
we kind
attorney.
of traded baseball cards.
Yes.
Wink.
We had custom ones made from Tops. So the prosecuting attorney, Binger, these are some of the arguments that were made. He was trying to admit a cell phone video with biased commentary from a witness.
Yeah.
So I want to set this up here really quick. It's been a bad day for the arguments from the prosecuting attorneys.
It's weird.
The prosecutor tried to justify. They were basically saying, okay, here's some cell phone footage. And the cell phone footage now, because there's so much footage out there that shows this case for what it is, has someone providing commentary to try and create a biased slant.
Right.
And the prosecutor tried to justify it, saying that the judge had admitted Rosenbaum's criminal record. Anyway, Bruce Schroeder shut down the prosecutor, the judge, when there was an objection. Like, hey, hold on a second. Just show the footage. Don't show commentary.
Right.
It's like you don't admit MSNBC covering Rittenhouse. You show the raw footage. When the FBA can find it. Look behind the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, assholes. I mean, aren't you the
FBI?
You're the Federal Bureau of Investigation? Investigate it. Find out where the tape is. Would you record it on beta?
Tape just got
We
ruined.
loaned it out.
Oh, and Americans now, the
for it.
Republican Party is dangerous because they're sowing mistrust in our institutions. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It's
It
really
must
us.
be. Yeah.
Sure, it's not the institution, so
Right,
mistrust
yeah,
in
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be Chris Christie's fault.
Yeah.
Well, and also give it to the defense when they ask for it.
Yeah.
Let's not wait until the last minute to give it to them.
It's very clear, but this judge is not taking the crap, so he shut down the prosecution when they were trying to present this biased evidence. And just watch it. It's great.
I understand the objection. The problem is there are portions of this that don't have anything to do with the defendant that describe the scene, and I'm trying to give the jury a sense of the scene.
It's hearsay.
I'm not introducing anyone's statements for the truth of the matter asserted. I'm introducing it for the state of mind of the defendant as he watches the scene.
If it's not for the truth of the matter asserted, it's irrelevant. So there's two different parts of the rule. One of them is the defendant has to have been aware of the decedent's violent acts or turbulent behavior. In the other one, it's circumstantial evidence of the victim's violent behavior at the time of the incident. That's what I admitted it on. Now, one of these, this was on CNN, Jeffrey Toobin and another attorney there.
He was masturbating on a Zoom call.
The comment was made that the ruling was incomprehensible. And I think they obviously are not familiar with this rule.
On CNN, is that what counts for news? No, it's just Jeff Toobin whacking it.
So he shows everyone his penis. It's fine.
It's fine.
And I can't go to a Louis C.K. show without people judging.
Right? Yeah. People are gonna boycott me because I go see Bill Burr, and this guy's there. He's for crying out loud, he's a professional choking the chicken.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say here is, when he was being chased, he didn't have to know his whole background. He could just be afraid of the fact that a man was chasing him.
Listen, come on.
I don't know why this has to be explained.
It's common sense. If I turn around and a guy's yelling "fuck you" to me, pardon my language, and I hear a gunshot, I'd be about as scared as I would be if I found Jeffrey Toobin on my Zoom call.
Yeah, I'd tell him right back something like that, but I don't use that sort of language.
I usually don't use that sort of language. Also, I don't look. I'm sorry, I know the ladies here, but I don't service my cock on Skype.
No, I mean, not Skype.
FaceTime is a bit different. Yeah,
I have a subscription.
When in Rome.
Yeah. I like a curvy girl.
But Jeffrey Toobin, this is why the left hates this judge, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because he distrusts the media. If someone has mistrust of the media, you're automatically labeled right-wing. And by the way, he probably is more of a center-right, I would imagine. Why? Because he doesn't like CNN.
Yeah.
He doesn't like stupid legal analysts who don't understand how to read the next paragraph.
Well, he likes the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy to see your kind of team jersey now. When people talk about polarization in the United States, I go, you know what? If I see a guy driving in his car by himself, double masked, I know he's my enemy.
Yeah, I know.
Probably not going to be hanging out.
Yeah, it's like, who are you going to catch that from?
Yeah. I just know, but I also know that guy wants to mandate that I vaccine my 12-week-old twins. Yeah. So, you know what? No. So on Tuesday, when we live streamed the opening arguments, this is so bad from the prosecution. We were joking about how it almost seemed like the prosecution, because keep in mind, the reason that the left has had to apologize to all of these outlets, all of the YouTube channels, all CNN, MSNBC, the reason they had to apologize and say, okay, we were wrong about the fact that a gun was carried across state lines. Okay, we were wrong about the fact that Rittenhouse was chasing Rosenbaum, which I know a lot of you here may not know because you don't watch a lot of leftist news, which I encourage you to do. That's why all references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. They had never seen the footage, which we have shown you, all of it, all of it for a long time. So the reason the left had to apologize is because these facts were brought to light by the prosecution. The people who are trying to put Kyle Rittenhouse away had to say, well, he didn't bring a gun across state lines. Oh, by the way, Rosenbaum was chasing him. And when we were watching it live, it was almost like we had stumbled into bizarro world. This is how effective the prosecution was in defending Kyle Rittenhouse.
The evening begins with large-scale protests, large-scale
rioting.
No other way to put it. Rioting.
Oh!
This is the prosecution.
What is going on?
That's 3.
This guy's the assistant DA.
Wow.
Well, where's first string when you need it?
Yeah.
The assistant. Bad.
This is how paper thin the case is. Guys, too, out there in the edit bay and the research, you guys just send me because I'm not really using this document since they screwed it.
Yeah, they've already used all our material.
Let me know if there's something you think that I need to reference that I haven't hit.
Gosh.
For crying out loud.
I mean, he kind of...
They didn't make any arguments.
Kind of took all our points from us for the defense.
And, I thought maybe the prosecutor, maybe just a slow starter, like Joe Frazier.
Yeah, he'll get it.
He's got a plan.
Takes a while to find his rhythm,
I'm getting better.
Now imagine he's black.
Yes. He's black.
But he's not.
No, it's like this is the prosecutor. This isn't like the prosecutor who starts slow and then finishes strong. He starts the race last and he ends even further back last.
Behind last place.
Yes.
He forgot to tie his shoes.
Yes.
Before the race. That's what happened.
Slow and steady wins the race. The problem is he just went to sleep and never woke up.
Oh, no.
Just stayed there.
Just like if the tortoise were just sitting there asleep forever, like that old female turtle in the Never-Ending Story. That was creepy.
Very
Bitch,
creepy.
cover your nose when you sneeze.
That's gross.
So,
True.
It was that lady.
Here's an argument that the prosecution tried to present yesterday.
Vaccinate my turtle.
That Kyle's gun strap. I know you're not going to believe me, so I'm going to present it to you. Here's the context, and you can go watch the 7 hours yourself. That Kyle Rittenhouse's gun strap should have made him comfortable with someone grabbing his gun.
What?
Here you go.
And it's showing you and the other individuals at the 63rd Street car source. Is that right?
Yes.
Are you wearing the sling in that photograph?
Yes, it appears.
And is that sling holding that gun in the front portion of your body?
Yes.
Does the defendant have his sling on with his gun being held similar to you?
Yes.
Was that sling strong enough to hold the weight of that gun?
Yes.
Was that sling strong enough so that if someone tried to pull that gun away, the gun would be held to your body?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Can you redirect? Recross rather?
I would move Exhibit 30.
He considers that a win.
Objection?
Like,
I rest my case. By the way, who was that witness? Was that Adam Ruin's case law?
Wow, that was an amazing maneuver of...
No further questions?
So he did, in fact, grab his gun? Yeah, he went for his gun. I rest my case.
Yeah.
What is this?
Like,
but
so,
he wouldn't have lost it, right?
He's walking past the jury box. Like,
yep.
Got this one in the bag.
All you'd have to do is walk up and go, would grabbing a gun be dangerous? Oh, yeah. Okay, then.
I love
what if a guy's wearing a strap? Still dangerous at the very least a dick move. Okay.
Yeah, I love how the defense...
Your witness?
Yeah. The defense is sitting over there and he's like, do you have anything? He's like, I don't want to stop him.
He's doing a good job.
I don't want to stop him.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Boy, I got to tell you there, Rittenhouse, you should have hired this guy.
Seriously. This guy is this guy. I don't know if he's a plant, if he's a spy like Swalwell banging the Chinese. I have no idea.
I want to disbar him, but I think he's just incompetent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the rule is because of the law says I can't fire the handicap, and this guy might genuinely be. I don't mean no offense, full blown retarded.
Yeah.
Is he going to use that for grounds for appeal?
I just want to make sure I understand this correct. Prosecution. Look, okay, I will speak slow so you can understand me. Do you understand that you just presented evidence that showed that someone reached for and was grabbing Kyle Rittenhouse's gun in an aggressive fashion? Nod your head if you understand.
Did you ride here on a bicycle with 3 wheels? I feel like you might have.
I feel
wearing
like
a helmet at all times.
Should you be wearing one of those leather helmets?
Yeah, just at least something to protect what's left.
I don't know. I might have an old Jaffa from my house hockey league. What a moron. It gets worse.
Wow.
It does?
It gets worse. I swear to you, it gets worse.
He's so cocky, though.
He's so cocky.
Like,
just
done.
striding back to the table.
Do you know what you said?
Yeah. And just to be clear, witness, I would like to ask you one last question. Was Mr. Rosenbaum a serial child rapist? Yes. No further questions.
He's high-fiving the jury who's not even moving their hands.
Just like running through. Yeah.
He's just palming their face. Yeah. Look of dismay. Someone's drinking Macallan 20 here tonight.
Now one of them is taking notes.
Well, one of them, they just turn around and says, not guilty.
Yeah, they already have it folded and in the head juror's hand.
Can I vote now? Early voting, I've heard, is a thing.
Yeah.
The jury has already come to a verdict, and they've origami'd it.
Yeah. They had the time.
Oh, look, a swan!
Big middle finger to you.
Wow.
It takes them forever to unfold it before reading it.
Your Honor, I ripped the verdict.
Will Kyle Rittenhouse be guilty? 1, 2, 3, 4.
It all just says yes.
I'm going to kiss you behind the swing.
And I am going to fight you behind the bike racks. So here's another argument the prosecution made. And this matters. It just shows you how paper thin. There's nothing that they have here. The guy tries to insinuate that Kyle's friend, the guy who looks like College Humor's Adam Ruins case law, being attacked on a roof by rioters is the same as Kyle on the ground being attacked and bludgeoned in the head. But here's the thing. Even then, in trying to draw this false equivalency of like, well, you didn't think you needed deadly force when you were on a roof, he still actually, just like he said riots, he's like, why didn't you feel the need to protect yourself? Watch what he says. He uses the word, why didn't you feel the need to protect yourself when they were just throwing their little gas bombs? I swear to you. Watch it.
Mr. Richards questions that someone is throwing some sort of water bottle or gas bomb up on the roof. Is that right?
Yes. Very different.
When these folks were doing these things to you and the other members of your group, did you point a gun at anyone?
No.
Did you fire at anyone?
No.
Why not?
Because there's no need to. I mean...
Did you feel that by these
Restraint?
people throwing rocks at you or throwing a gas bomb at you, that you were in danger?
Rocks and gas.
Just a little difference
I mean, pain, yes, but not danger. I knew it wasn't going to kill me.
So you felt like it wasn't enough to use deadly force?
Correct.
No further. First off, a water bottle or a gas bomb is not a mundane detail, Michael. It's like
Paper
one
plane
is
or
thrown at a
atom
Justin
bomb.
Bieber concert because he won't do an encore. The other is something the Penguin uses to take over Gotham.
So you spilled some wine on your date, or I'm sorry, you threw a grenade in her mouth?
Yeah, one of
You
those.
shot her between the teeth?
It's a slight difference.
Do you know the difference between, I don't know, Aquafina bottle and a gas bomb?
Yeah.
It is a big difference there.
I would think, look, I don't want to split hairs on whether it's a hand grenade or a flash grenade, but the point is, you don't want to be a pussy.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they throwing fireworks at this guy? And they don't know what to call them? Like, what?
Like you say Roman candle or something, and then when they say objection, it was a gas bomb. Be like, well, who could tell? But instead, you're sitting there like,
Also,
did you know what they were throwing? They were throwing pebbles at you or biological weapons.
Yeah.
Hey, did you feel threatened when they threw a day-old donut or a package of rice in?
I'll tell you what'll protect against those, that True Coat.
Yeah.
Just put that on your Oldsmobile.
Sometimes even put it on my suede boots.
I don't understand.
So here's another So his point is he's trying to say you didn't feel the need to use deadly force. He was on the roof. There's a huge difference between that and being on the ground with someone hitting you in the head, kicking you in the head, and then someone else coming up with a gun to shoot you in the head.
He's building up their restraint. He just said we didn't feel like that was deadly.
Yeah.
Later on, when you're being chased, beaten, shot at,
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Like, when they were throwing water bottles and gas bombs and zip guns and chains up on the roof, you didn't feel the need to defend yourself or use deadly force? No, we didn't. Oh. So you issued restraint until you were down on the ground being beaten within an inch of your life? Yes, sir. Interesting.
Now, when he pulled a gun on you, was it a sandwich?
It was dark. Could it have been a footlong?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't an AR-15. How could you tell? Because I know the model. It's a Daniel Defense. And what a big man you are.
Could have been a water bottle.
Could have been a water bottle. I don't know. They get clever with those new water bottles. You ever see that Life Water? Has a squeeze tube. You don't even have to open the cap.
You don't want that in your eye, or maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't know. And you can mix some anthrax in there. Who's to tell? So here's his next argument. Hand to God.
Stupid.
All references are available. Hand to God.
Real footage.
You're not going to believe what I'm about to say.
Sketch?
No. He argues that Rosenbaum, and you see in that footage that he ducks behind the car and puts something over his face, right? Mm-hmm. So the second he sees Kyle Rittenhouse, right, he hides Kyle Rittenhouse is coming, covers something over his face before him and his buddy, his guy in coordination, shoots the gun, and he yells, "Fuck you." Pardon my language, but I want to quote this accurately.
Right,
yeah. Kyle Rittenhouse.
It was the code word.
He's arguing that the reason he went and decided to Lawrence of Arabia his face was because he was distressed from COVID here.
I think you indicated that his face was obscured by the shirt. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you wearing a mask that night?
Yes, yeah, you could tell by my voice. I was muffled the entire night, yeah.
And this was in August of 2020 when there was a lot of COVID going around, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Is it fair to say that a lot of people that night had face coverings?
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, the prosecution also blamed the emotional stress of COVID for this.
Shoot me, nigga!
Look, it's a symptom.
Yep.
You must have had one of those breakthrough cases.
One of those. Very distressed.
Yeah, that would make sense, prosecuting dummy, if he wasn't seen all night repeatedly yelling the N-word without a face covering. Which he should have, because he's really white.
Yeah, it would have at least hidden the N-word.
Yeah.
Where you could go, I didn't say it.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
No, it's muffled. You couldn't hear.
I mean, throw your voice a little bit, like Senor Wences. Like, hey, don't use that. Don't you say that word. These are good people. So right.
Walter. Peanut.
Oh my gosh. Well, no, Stephen, he got a phone update from the CDC that said COVID was dangerous at that time.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
The arguments get worse.
That's
though.
there.
Oh, that's good. How did he have a phone fresh out of the clink? The mental hospital.
He stole it from some kid.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It only called 2 people.
Right.
Unfortunately, 911 and the parents were not accessible.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, that just made me laugh because they weren't. The whole city was on fire.
Yes,
that guy could have gotten away with worse.
Could have gotten away with a lot worse. Thank God Kyle Rittenhouse was there.
Well, thank God he was there, but we would never, ever want someone to be hurt.
No. We would never want to see someone, commit the horrible act of self-defense.
Never.
We would rather see. This is my question, honestly, to the left. Before I go on to the horrible arguments, what would you rather see at that point? Kyle Rittenhouse be bludgeoned to death with a skateboard? Genuinely, leftists out there say, well, he shouldn't have been there. Okay, but he's there. It's like a kid. It's like, oh, she shouldn't have been wearing that miniskirt, right? A kid shouldn't be at a party. He's underage drinking. But very similar.
Right.
Misdemeanor. Okay, shouldn't have been there. Not even a felony to have a weapon. My question to you is, once you see him on the ground, stomped, kicked, hit in the head with a skateboard, and someone running up with a gun, well, what would you rather happen? What would make you satisfied in, what would have you believe that Kyle Rittenhouse is not a white supremacist? Would it have to be his brains on the concrete? I'm trying to see the other side of the argument here. He's running, serial pedophile who's aggressive, who's committed acts of violence, felonies that night already on camera, running after him, yelling, fuck you, get him. The second Kyle Rittenhouse turns around and this guy has a chain, is reaching for his gun. Gunshots go off in the air. He turns around to see this ginger pedophile that is ball retractingly scary. What does he wait for the pedophile to brain him and to rape him because he's underage? That's something this guy does. My point is, what would satisfy you genuinely to believe that Kyle Rittenhouse is not some white supremacist? He didn't kill any black people. Didn't shoot any black people. He was yelling friendly. He was providing medical care to people of any political persuasion. I don't know.
They wouldn't care.
No.
It doesn't matter because they wanted to fit the agenda of exactly what they're trying to push.
They want to scalp.
Well, that is what they want. They want to blame him. You're calling a guy a white supremacist for shooting a white pedophile.
Yes.
Does that make sense to anybody at all?
Well, I think it's CNN. They're like, no, sounds good to me. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Tubin said it.
Yeah,
so it must be true.
Tubin said it, but I couldn't hear him over the sound of one hand clapping.
He seemed real thrilled about it, though.
Yeah, very excited.
I was asking him at first, what's the faucet on? No, it's his cock.
Boy, I tell you, though, when he stopped clapping, he got depressed.
Oh, boy. I tell you, just knocked the wind right out of him.
He just said, I'm a monster, and then it shut off.
Speaking of monsters.
What's wrong with me?
Speaking of monsters, this is the prosecution smoking gun here. Like, they really were smug about this. This is like the glove that doesn't fit.
Oh, boy.
They were trying to say, right, that Kyle was chasing Rosenbaum down. Remember, during the original stream, they said they had FBI footage that showed Kyle Rittenhouse was chasing Rosenbaum. The prosecution's own witness said no and refuted this. Here you go.
Would you agree with me, Mr. Washington, that as you pass by the defendant and Joseph Rosenbaum heading south on Sheridan Road, that the sequence of individuals is Mr. Rosenbaum is further south ahead of the defendant, Mr. Rittenhouse?
Correct. Yes.
And
you were asked by Attorney Binger in terms of the direction that people are heading, that Mr. Rosenbaum is further south than Mr. Rittenhouse in that picture, right?
Yes.
Okay. You'd agree on that video, it doesn't appear that Mr. Rittenhouse is chasing Mr. Rosenbaum, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It appears they, like multiple other people, are simply walking south. Agreed?
Yes.
Wow.
And the prosecutor's not even smart enough to go, shit. He's going like, well, I told you I had an ace in the hole.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
Witness.
Who's the assistant next to him? That big dude who's just like writing stuff down. Like, we're not going to win this.
This is hopeless.
His life right now.
Kid's t-ball schedule.
I'm getting fired after this, so better get that dental work done.
If he were defending
You're
Chris
not gonna be a
Kringle,
partner after that.
if he were defending Chris Kringle, someone would open out the window and be like, hey, horrible news, everybody! Santa's getting executed!
This is great.
It's a bag of no letters to Santa.
Yes.
Just emptying out nothing.
Okay, you guys can come. Is it me? Look, I want to know if I have a blind spot. Now, keep in mind, I've watched the arguments from the left on the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, and I just will say it's just lies. I'm like, well, they say Kyle Rittenhouse was chasing him. Well, that's a lie. They say that Kyle Rittenhouse brought a firearm across state lines. Well, that's just a lie. They say that that he was the one who fired the first shot. That's just a lie. I've watched all of the raw footage, not the raw footage that the FBI has destroyed, of course.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. You comment below. Let me know what you think is even the possibility of a jury coming back saying guilty. Maybe on the firearm charge.
Maybe on the firearm charge. But what kind of responsibility does the prosecution have to also not lie? He basically, he went out and said that Rittenhouse was chasing Rosenbaum in his opening statement and then tried to reassert it there when the video clearly shows that's not what happened.
He's a lawyer.
No. That doesn't give him an excuse to actually lie.
Don't bring your
about
anti-Semitic
evidence,
shit
okay?
in here, Quarterback.
Yes, come on. It's not about that.
Listen, go watch the.
All right, hey.
Okay.
I don't know what you. I don't know how we. But we don't tolerate none of that here, Farrakhan.
Admonish yourself.
That's what they do.
Admonish yourself.
I will not. I have control.
Yes.
He's not on the stand. His job is to lie.
We have ways you don't know of.
You actually tell him, you go, I killed this dude, and they go, well, we're going to try to prove you didn't. That's his job. His job is to lie.
No, it's...
Yes, it is.
No, it's to present evidence in a way that
How many times have you hired a lawyer to get off? I have. And every time I'm like, here's what we got to do.
I've never
We
hired
got to
anybody
act
to
like
get off.
I
You're
was
right.
sober, and we both know I wasn't.
Well, look. We got to lie.
I'm real guilty. It's why I'm calling you.
Isn't that your job?
Yeah, I don't want to call it an honest lawyer. That's why they made the movie Liar, Liar, because he couldn't lie and he lost all his cases.
Yeah, it's also why they made Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Al Pacino.
It's just having sex with the devil, or Charlize Theron. I don't remember, but Keanu Reeves gets burned alive.
Nah.
He's like, that's
He
your
wakes up
sister.
from a dream.
Yeah. That's what it was, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was his sister. He's
Oh, that's your sister! You're disgusting having sex with your sister. Let me get the videotape. Gotta watch.
He wanted it. He's like, yeah, God says look, but don't touch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But don't lie.
That's right. Devil's Advocate. I watched, for those who don't remember this, there's a movie, a film, what was it, would you say mid-90s? Late 90s?
Which movie?
Devil's Advocate, 97?
It was 99, 98.
Late 90s.
So for people out there,
97.
Yeah.
For all you people who say, okay, boomers, we're millennials, there was a film called Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, and Charlize Theron, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was not spoiler alert, it was never marketed as though the devil actually has sex with his sister. You just thought like Devil's Advocate, like,
His
oh, he's a
daughter,
really dishonest, really dishonest lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, to what lengths will a lawyer go to preserve? And then you're like, oh, this is actually about someone who's the devil, who's having sex with family members, and
flips it.
This is really weird, and it wasn't marketed that way at all.
No, the twist is the fact that he is the devil, and the movie's called The Devil's Advocate.
Yes!
Also, another great twist in that movie, Jeffrey Jones, you might know him as the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, who is a pedo.
Yeah.
Is a pedo in that movie, so he gets chased down and attacked by demons. You got to think when he was watching that, he's like, boy, I hope that doesn't happen.
Hitting a little close to home.
This is, in 3 more years, people are going to realize how real this is.
Why couldn't he have been in Kenosha?
I know,
He was
right?
a pedophile?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was like a Pete Townsend sort of, where he's like, I was researching a project on karate circumcision.
Him and the dad from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, that guy too.
Really?
Oh, what? Really? I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
She's only 7. So
It's heaven to me.
we can't do the Alec Baldwin 7+1. We don't have time. I think should we do that, or should we do the Professor? We have Professor Penis waiting in the wings. What do we think there, Toby?
He's an expert.
Let's do it both. These fans love us.
What do we think? I mean, I can talk about the female thing next week, but I know that we titled it around
We kind of
this.
titled around it, but we did hit a whole bunch of other stuff. So
What, 7+1? Is that what
I think the 7+1 is pretty. It's timely.
Can we?
It's
Okay,
timely.
people send us some chats really quickly. We have a whole thing about feminism ruining everything for women.
We'll do it next
and
week.
then we have 7+1. What do you think there,
do that
Quarter
this
Black Garrett? And don't bring your Farrakhan anti-Semitic.
Okay, I'm putting it down. Putting it down. I think 7+1.
What do
I think that's
What's Token Owen?
I think we should do both.
Oh, he wants the show to go hours
you think
and
we should do an
hours.
hour-and-a-half show on YouTube?
How
Rumble?
dare you?
All right, fine. Okay, look, it's going to be an hour-and-a-half show on YouTube and Rumble, and then we're going to go late. We're going to go late because we still do another 45 minutes on MugClub. Look, I'm only going to do it if you guys smash that like button right now on YouTube.
Do it.
Smash the like button.
We're watching.
You know what? We're going to monitor unless there is exactly 8,000 likes before right now. It is 11:08. Before
we got 12,000 right now. So
no, I'm saying in addition.
from here.
So we got to get to 20
by 11:20. Then I'm just going to cut the feed short.
We're just gonna stop.
Yeah,
We'll save the +1 because they didn't do it.
because they didn't do it.
You're only going to get 7. You're not even going to get the long
You're not even going to get the +1. There's always supposed to be 1 in the chamber.
Always.
Don't forget about it.
My
Just ask
point. My
Alec.
point is you don't deserve this.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding. That's one thing too. I will say, I don't know if this is going down a rabbit trail too much, but people like when we started, MugClub, and we do appreciate you joining up loudwithcredit.com/MugClub. We actually do full segments and full extra show stuff we can never talk about on YouTube. You should see what Dave says. The issue here is we never pulled away free content. A lot of people do free content, and then they say, hey, now it's no longer free. You have to pay. We only did once a week a free show.
Yeah.
We're up to 5,000 already.
Likes?
5,000 more?
5,000 up. So we.
All right, there we go. Some of you are paying
In like a
An
minute?
hour-and-a-half show.
Appreciate
Yeah, in like
that.
a minute. We have a very active audience.
We do.
And we never wanted to screw you guys. We had one free show a week. And since we started premium content, you now get
There it
4
is.
free shows a week. What?
20,000 likes.
That was less
We
than
got
a minute.
that. That was fast. You guys are crazy.
Hold on a
Good job,
second.
guys.
Hold on a second.
I mean 25.
No, a second. I'm gonna pull a Fauci. 20,000 more likes.
20,000.
Hey, come on, 20,000 more likes. You want to have Thanksgiving, don't you?
21.
Now you don't even have to have the likes.
Those likes are rolling in.
30,000 likes.
We were
5,000.
I threw the pitch.
You
we were
gotta
a little-
unlike it, then like it.
Yeah, we were a little too generous with the time. Next time we'll be like in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Should have done 8
I think they would have got it
seconds.
anyways.
We had a whole show written for
We
Monday.
just got 8,000 likes in 9. No,
Yeah, it was
God.
crazy.
Wow.
Why aren't you?
It's still going up.
By the way, that's how quickly Joe Biden gets dislikes.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
So like, I swallowed wrong. Just you can watch it like Ed Rooney's pedophile computer attendance day changes. I just swallowed wrong. Grace, come on, Grace. All right.
Sad to find out the real reason he's breaking into Ferris's house.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Bow, bow.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
husband, was a Hodge twins. It's a Ed Rooney's busting all kinds of nuts. So all kinds of nuts. No, don't take that as license, Dave, to go.
No, I didn't say nothing.
I was just saying the Hodge twins.
I
They
already-
they are who they are.
I already
It
got
is
my
who they
Jeffrey
is. You can't do
Jones
anything about it.
jokes then.
You should see when
But
they're
tonight,
in here.
watch The Devil's Advocate with your spouse or significant other or dog
Yeah.
or whatever.
We'll try not to feel
little
uncomfortable.
incest.
Come on.
Yeah, you can really watch Al Pacino at his best.
Yeah.
We're at 26,000.
I like
Yeah, baby.
demons' asses.
They're great big.
They go red asses.
Big old red asses with horns. Bro, it'll give me a pack of gum. Maybe later show me how to chew it. Big red demon asses.
Hey, Alec, can you take it down maybe, I don't know, from a 10 to a 1?
I like moderately large red asses.
All right, let's just use this.
We'll move on. Yeah.
That's the clip we're going to When did he forget how to act? Subtlety of Mike Corleone.
You need your pen.
All right, so we'll
your
get my
pen?
pen once
I
the
can
intro
get
comes
it.
up. So,
All
the husband of Helena Hutchins, the person who was shot on the Alec Baldwin set, hired a lawyer, Brian Pernish. He's a personal injury lawyer from Los Angeles. He represented the mother and children of Michael Jackson. And so this is going to be a tough legal battle for Alec Baldwin. And so that brings us to this week's 7+1.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
They always forget the one in the
Every
chamber. I got my
time.
pen.
You can't forget the one in the chamber, Alec.
Can't forget one in the chamber.
Come on.
All right.
Dangerous.
And this week, it is 7+1 Alec Baldwin defenses.
Oh.
Yeah. Excuses
I'm surprised
Alec
there's
Baldwin
that
has
many
made. The top 7+1 Alec Baldwin excuses as to what really happened, why he shot. Number 7, I saw the cameras and thought they were paparazzi. Well, that...
Oh, well, no.
Well, that makes sense.
Still
Gunshots are a little.
Number 6, 7+1 Alec Baldwin excuses. Dave, you take number 6 there.
It wasn't me. It was my brother's wife from Wilson Phillips that was kind of okay looking.
Yeah, well, that just seems like a backhanded insult. Number
I'm not
5...
saying I wouldn't pork the pork.
No. Number 5, Alec Baldwin excuses. I could have sworn she was my daughter.
So I'm gonna let you know just how I feel about what a rude little pig you really are.
Well, that shows you everything you need to know. Number 4, excuses from Alec Baldwin. The instructions were in Spanish, and I had my wife translate.
That bitch don't know Spanish.
Let's do number 3, Alec Baldwin excuses, Dave.
I had just rewatched my movie Drunk Parents and felt someone had to die.
Someone
Oh, gee.
had to die. Somebody. Agent was not available. Number 2, Alec Baldwin excuses. That's not a loaded, unchecked weapon in my pants. I'm just happy to see you. That just seems more like a confession, really.
That's weird.
Right? Doesn't seem like a...
No.
It seems like that's not going to be a defense as much as a reason.
That's like the prosecution in Rittenhouse.
It really is. Is he having the same lawyer?
That's what it seems
Because
like.
if so, he's going to get somehow 3 charges of murder and the chair.
Added on top.
And they'll be like, oh, also, Mr. Baldwin, the jury has decided to charge you in the death of Brandon Lee. So I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
But wow, we're just really going back in time here. But I'll allow it. All right, number 1, the top excuse Alec Baldwin has given for the mishap on set of Rust. Dave.
Earlier that day, the broad I shot took my parking spot.
Oh, come on now. That's
really?
not a reason, Alec.
Shocking.
You're better than that. And, of course, the +1.
He would have just hit her.
Yes, he would have just hit her. The +1, or if he was, Caitlyn Jenner would have run her over. +1, I was still upset about being portrayed as the head of the Film Actors Guild in Team America. Yeah.
That is the fag way. One day you will all look at the world us actors created and say, wow, good going, fag.
Yeah, I could see how that could be a little unnerving for Alec Baldwin. All right, that's been this week's 7+1.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
Okay, so
Alec did.
He did.
Yeah, he certainly did. Well, somebody did on the set.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Well, he is the producer. Look, you can also have empathy for the fact that it was, an accident and he didn't intend to murder somebody.
No, he didn't.
It's sad, but there's also some culpability somewhere. And if he's the producer and you are always supposed to check your weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are at still 0 instances here in Louder with Crowder Studios, even after using guns several times over the years. Yep. Still 0 incident. Nobody's died.
This is a loaded gun with one in the chamber. This is what's so funny. Someone knows nothing about guns. Like, oh, you have your gun's loaded? No, I keep it in a lockbox in the other area of the house so I can run around. What? Yes, of course it's loaded and ready. Why would I have it?
So I could wish I had a gun when a burglar comes through the window.
Yeah, but if your job is to check guns on a film set, what were you doing?
Yeah, well,
you're just like
loading
driving home. You're like, did I leave the oven on?
Yeah,
something today.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you know what I was thinking today? Instead of checking the guns, I'd load them.
And just leave them about on the set.
Yeah, just see what happens. It's all the greats leave their mark.
Really rolling the dice there, aren't you?
When you take this gun, sometimes they can shoot off bullets. Very rare.
Yeah, very rare.
But just make sure you point them directly at 2 people.
Yeah,
In her defense, she was distracted doing a TikTok.
And don't let the screams break your concentration. It's important that you stay in character. It's very important that you stay in character here on Rust.
You think he called his daughter right away?
He's like, oh, this is all your fault. I knew it, you pig.
It's like, you sweaty pig.
I told you that you were supposed to load it with blanks.
I don't care if you're 11 or 12. I'm 21. I don't like your mother.
She used to be hot. She's not hot anymore. Not since 8 Mile. She's disgusting. You pig. I'm going to take this out on you. All right. So this is something else I really want to talk about.
Sorry.
I really wanted to talk about this today.
Baldwin.
And I know that this is something, keep an open mind. Because I understand that not all women are feminists and not all feminists are women. So, however, there's been a lot of sort of reshuffling amongst female ranks, and I don't just mean with women, female conservatives. Women, female. I'll just go with female. Who cares?
Yeah. See what happens.
They used to be interchangeable until last May. So we do need to talk about a couple of things. All of the problems that women are dealing with right now. You there listening right now, and you can tell me if these are problems that you commonly deal with. These are the most common problems cited by women. Have been entirely created by the leftist feminist movement, and unfortunately, women allowing them to spread their roots, to get their tentacles in too deep. That's why we find ourselves at a point right now where a lot of women are panicking, going, all right, okay, you saw this with the gubernatorial races, going, they're doing this with their kids? Oh my gosh, what's happening? There are no men out there. There's something now that's been going on. There was an op-ed about golden penis syndrome. And I'll just explain it to you really quickly. Basically, in a lot of areas, particularly on college campuses, the women outnumber the men right now in the dating pool.
Yeah.
So they outnumber the men, depending which ratio you use, 3-to-1 or 3-to-2. And they're saying there aren't enough men, and now they're just playing the field, and they think that they have a golden penis. This is what it's called, golden penis syndrome.
It's a great name.
And I don't want to get too nerdy about it, so actually to explain this, a professor in penis sciences, penis and penis-related sciences, Professor Penis is going to explain this for us. All right, Professor Penis, I need you to take that microphone there.
Yeah, we're trying out a new
setup there.
Sound
Professor Penis. Okay, can you explain?
Let me get my pointer out.
Yeah. Okay. Can you explain to us exactly, for people who don't know, this is sort of a sociological, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Isn't that properly?
Yes, and physical as well. Yeah.
Okay, so explain to us what golden penis syndrome is.
Okay, so it's a complicated name. The correlation of female to male ratio to the metallic quality of male phallus.
Okay.
It's complicated, but it is very simple. So this will be an easy one to understand today.
Okay.
We got down here on the x-axis the ratio of females to males.
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
Starting at 1-to-1.
Okay.
That would be our baseline, and
Yeah.
then going to any x integer.
Okay, sure.
And
yeah.
number
integer
all the way up. Y-axis, we got the goldenness of the penis.
The level of
metallic.
No, see, I think Professor Penis, I think
it goes like this. See,
I don't think
plateau, and then
I don't think that golden penis syndrome is actually like a physical like golden penis.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a geologist or a materials scientist, so I kind of stick with. I get the numbers, and I kind of do the more academic, philosophical questions.
Okay.
So,
all right.
That being said, we did open submissions to send in.
From people. Actually, this is important, right?
Yeah,
so you're not alone.
Yeah, my university put out a call for
people suffering from golden penis syndrome.
Exactly.
People who are dealing with this disease.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
okay. And explain what that might look like.
See what my interns have sent me here. Let's go. All right, on our list we got we got a few. Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Movie star. 14 carats.
What do you mean? What does that mean? 14 carats
of penis.
Well,
metal of gold.
His penis is 14 karat gold.
So it's quality?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, these are the measurements. You can
self-submitted.
We'll
like
verify
appraised?
these. Yeah, we'll verify these.
Yeah, of course. It needs to be authenticated.
So far, yeah. We also have, another. Oh, Tom Brady, football.
Yeah.
We're talking about football. Yeah, Tom Brady at 22 carats.
22 carat penis, Tom Brady.
Penis, yep.
I don't think that this is exact, but you know what? Just for good measure, those are two successful people, Zac Efron.
They are, yeah.
Tom Brady. Let's act as though you have this correct. For Bruce Springsteen. See in there?
We put an S. Okay, we do have him actually. Looks like pyrite.
What is
that's fool's gold?
Okay, Professor Penis, everybody. That's been enlightening.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was just a horrible waste of
Oh
time.
my gosh.
I mean, I get what he's saying, though.
Yeah. I don't doubt the
Zac Efron's probably got a 14 carat.
Yeah, he probably does.
14? That's kind of low.
Until he's...
Well, yeah, he's probably more.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not a
Until he's in a film with The Rock, then it shrinks to 8 carat.
Yes, or a 10 carat. Maybe an 8.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So this got me thinking here.
That's not true, Dave.
Yeah, it is. You won't see it?
All right. Let me get to a few points here. The major gripes that you're seeing from... Look, this is something that I want to talk about. A lot of the issues that women are upset about right now, they're legitimate grievances, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the grievances that affect your life the most, not about abortion up until and including birth. And keep in mind, by the way, the racist white women, right, the hashtag, they voted out Governor Blackface, who believed in, Northam, who believed in abortion up until and including birth, and they voted in, was it Lieutenant Governor?
I don't think he was the lieutenant governor.
What's the name of the black lady who was a former
Lieutenant governor?
Yeah, lieutenant governor now. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand the rules with white supremacy, but
I'm not
whatever.
sure either.
It's anyone who disagrees with you.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what
I
it is.
understand.
It's not actually about race.
Okay.
The former Marine black lieutenant governor now, who's the blackface, I guess, of white supremacy in Virginia now, because those are popping up everywhere.
Second generation immigrant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get it. I get it. I don't get it. I'll talk about it after. You guys can clarify for me. So, but I don't want to talk about just those issues, which are sort of exist in this, I guess, sort of nebulous kind of like, women's rights. No, the issues that are facing women. This is the golden penis syndrome. Okay, and this is a problem where women are saying there aren't enough men available. Also in New York, ironically, in this column, it's exacerbated by a significant gay population in New York.
Who could have figured that out?
Where would that stem from?
I love it.
I don't think the sexual liberation from the feminist movement would have anything to do with that. So every issue that you complain about, women, legitimately, and I am empathetic towards you. I have a white woman wife, just to be clear, hashtag white woman. I have a wife who's a stay-at-home mom now, and she used to be a professional. So I have some experience with this, living with a woman and what it is that she has valued and where she has found herself happier. Here's the issue. Women, if you look back at what women wanted in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, and you'll try and say, they want, voting, abusing women. No, these things were never, abusing your wife was never something that was so societally accepted. That's not patriarchy. No. Patriarchy was they were the ones who voted for women to have a right to vote. Most women didn't want the right to vote because of the responsibilities that it came with. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is what women wanted out of life in the 1950s, 1940s, and specifically what they wanted out of men has changed decade to decade so dramatically, whereas what men want from women is still the exact same. And that's why many of you are finding yourself in a scenario where you're unhappy. And you realize that the wool's been pulled over your eyes, where now they control your kids and hormone blockers, and they're teaching them critical race theory, and they're giving them books with kids in strap-ons at the Virginia School Public Library. And all of a sudden, you've been taken for granted because something, vulva, right? So let's go through some of the primary gripes that I hear women often complaining about today. And this is now from the feminist movement that have been created, a self-fulfilling prophecy. One, okay, here you go, that women are being sexually objectified. You hear this a lot. This is a problem now, right? And you have the era of Me Too. And again, men need to clean house with Me Too, right? It's men who need to kick the ass of rapists. Hey, by the way, do you want to know what happened? See how rapists and child molesters do in prison. Yeah. Even violent male criminals aren't huge fans, just to be clear. There's a reason Weinstein kept it to himself outside of, Matt Damon.
Well, I think Weinstein's going to have no issue in the rape department.
No. It'll be a rape cornucopia.
Yes, they may beat him daily, though.
Yeah.
Just because, he's a slob.
He is absolutely disgusting.
He's just tough to look at.
So women are sexually objectified. Well, look, I would agree with that. I think that's a problem that we have now that we certainly didn't have back in the 1940s, 50s. I'll say 50s for the sake of argument here. Because a lot of times they say, MAGA means go back to the 1950s, which is racism and sexism. But now they're going, we can't find a man on college. Okay, on college campus. All right. Yeah. Feminists were the feminist movement, okay? And when I am saying this, I'm talking about the feminist leftist movement. And unfortunately, because women value empathy over conflict and resolution in many ways, you know this if you're married, they've allowed feminists to run wild. So I'm not saying all women, but I am saying this is a problem that has been created exclusively in the female community. Feminism lauded the sexual liberation movement. Yeah. This coincided with birth control, right? They said, hey, free sex, right? Free sex, free love. That was the idea. And guess what? You let men off the hook. This didn't come from men. Now, men have always wanted to have sex with as many women as they could because that's the way that they're biologically hardwired, right? For example, look at gay couples. Promiscuity is almost non-existent. Why? Because everyone just says, yes, all the time. All the time. It was women who civilized men and said, no, you got to put a ring on it, right? That was how it used to work. A man used to have to court, romance a woman, and then get married, and they would be engaged in a sexually monogamous relationship.
I feel like there was a guy like behind the curtain pulling the strings, like, you want to have sex with everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like guys are like, oh no, please don't do that.
This
right?
is not the penis you're looking for. Yeah, seriously, it's like the topless thing, like, free the nipple to piss off men. It's like this, like the women's sexual liberation. I bet you Donald Trump was back like, oh no, that free sex, stop, gross.
The first like motion picture to ever come at you was like a train. You know, they finally filmed something, and the second one I believe was a naked woman on a tire swing. I'm not even kidding. It's like that's how quickly you just go into perversion with any invention that we've ever had. It's like the internet. We're like, hey, this is an amazing way we can communicate with and masturbate.
Yes.
Second use.
What is that, a tire swing? Oh, that would look nice out in old Boo Radley's front yard. Yeah, I could really see how a kid could. Can I put my snatch on it? Is that
let's make porn free.
I was going to say, to be fair, that first movie, it was called Train Coming Into a Station.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well,
Stop it.
There you go.
So there's a little symbolism there.
All right, here's another complaint
the
that we
second
have.
one was part 2.
The issue is the stopgap was removed from carnal sexuality. And now a lot of women are upset that, and rightfully so, I agree with you, that a lot of men are this is what's happening, the golden penis syndrome, they're playing the field because they have more options. And an underlying theme here that you will understand is that women have, throughout the decades, tried to increase their value in the romance and in the dating marketplace in ways that they see men add value. But it doesn't add value to a man. What do I mean? Women have said, well, I'm a professional career woman. Well, men don't care. Women say, well, I make a good income. Men don't care. Well, I have a college degree. Men don't care. You value that in a man. A man still values the same things in general when polled: kindness, being attractive, nurturing, loyal. These are things that are not going. Men don't say, oh, does she make a good income? Women see that as valuable because that's the role of protector and provider, whether you want to admit it or not. And so you've tried to increase your value through being more like a man. It's just like having female action stars. Like, well, how about you just have, that's why Queen's Gambit was great. You had the best female chess player. Fantastic. There's no reason that can't happen. Why? Because women can be just as good at chess. Women cannot, you can't beat someone's ass with a high heel. You're going to get your ass kicked, okay, Charlize? So you try to empower women by telling them to be more like men. Here you go. Now men aren't all that interested. And that brings me to another point. We hear this a lot, that men will not commit, right? This is a complaint among women. And you know what? It's actually true.
Yeah, we saw it in some of the chat questions. I've been dating somebody for 4 or 5 years, and I'm like, wait, what? That shouldn't happen.
And this is true. Men are not willing to commit. Why? Again, this goes back to point number 1, the sexual revolution, right? And marriage just isn't also seen as a winning proposition. This is something that's important. A lot of people don't understand, too. It's increasing expectations in marriage of men, where men used to be the provider, men used to be the protector, and women would be at home with the children. And now it's also you share all the household duties. Also, you're Mr. Mom at home. And also, if I leave you for any reason, I'm going to take half. This is a part of the feminist revolution. And so men say, well, you know what? That's a risk that I don't really want to take. Women, these laws were changed by women. These ideas were championed by women. Men never wanted it, to be clear. Just like they don't want a woman today who's 35 with a gender studies degree in student debt to be the mother of their children. Turn back now. Here's another one that you see a lot of women now, too, when they look at the dating pool. You can read this in the golden penis syndrome. Men don't make enough money, right? It's really tough. I can't find a man who makes enough money. Well, look, okay, why do you think that is? When feminism pushed the idea, and not only pushed the idea, denigrated the idea of single income households, a stay-at-home mom, they pushed the idea of a dual income household.
Yeah.
It was considered, to feminists, less respectable, to the point where a lot of women decided, I'm going to take pride in your job. Absolutely. But take pride in being a mother, too. Take pride in being a wife, too. Do you not want your husband to take pride in being a good husband, being a faithful husband, being a loving husband? The qualities that you admire in a man? Take pride in being a wife and a mother, not just a career. You can take pride in either or, but generally speaking, not both. You can't have it all. And so when you change this, women, just to be clear, what they're seeing now is a lot of men sort of going into the job pool as women used to. So before the 1960s, women
bosom buddies.
Yes. Women used to, a lot of them were teachers. When they say women weren't allowed in the workforce, no, women were teachers. Women made up the majority of nurses, things like assistants, secretaries. Now, why? Not because they weren't qualified, not because men were trying to hold them back. And I'm sure there's some of that, but a big reason was women back then valued flexibility over, say, pay, being a CEO, traveling. Why? Because that would take them away from their kids. And at this point, society and humanity recognize that women are generally happier when they're close with their children and can spend time with their children. As women's share of household duties has consistently gone down, so has their happiness. I am not saying that bitch should be happier if you were cleaning the floor. What I am saying is that as women have started to make more money, as women have been allowed at record rates into STEM fields, whether qualified or not, because many women don't want to enter into these fields, they are becoming less happy because they are realizing that it's not as fulfilling as the lie that feminists sold you. What is fulfilling? Seeing the first smile on your children's face. Having a warm house and home, taking pride. You can still work. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying that as women have increasingly placed a premium on work, they're becoming less happy. It would be just like if, let's take an extreme example, if all men today were stay-at-home dads, they didn't go to work. Guarantee you male suicide would be higher. Guarantee you depression would be higher. Because you know what? That's not what we were designed to do. And it would be a monumental shift.
Yeah, exactly. And I hate the lie that is being sold by the left right now that women, you shouldn't value giving birth. You shouldn't value having a child. You shouldn't value rape. Like my wife and I sat down. My wife is a badass. She's incredibly intelligent. She can do whatever she wants to do. And she's got a really great job. We've sat down and said the most important thing that we will ever do is raise our children well. 30, 40, 50 years ago, we gave up on that. And we are reaping what we have sown, because now you're saying government raise our kids or daycare. And I understand situations arise where you have to go to daycare because mom and dad have to work. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people not valuing raising.
Well, that also, by the way, comes from people who try and blame the government and society. That also comes from increasing expectations with placing a value on material goods and working a job. There are still plenty of families who live in rural areas who have single income households. You find these people at church, just to be clear, right? But the problem now is more men, because of the idea of dual income households. So I don't need to become a CEO. I don't need to worry about a promotion. I don't need to worry about a pension. I'll just look for more flexibility because they can live, men now, on a lower middle income salary, alone, single, and live like a king. Or this is a challenge too, is what they get married, you have dual income, and at that point they work all day, come home, work all night if they have children because they're also the mother. You split this 50-50, you're splitting work 50-50. It's just not a winning proposition for a lot of men. And a lot of them choose to remain single. That's the thing. Guys are going, you know what? I live better by myself if it's going to be a joint income. You know what? I'll just keep my income and live with 3 roommates rather than have to commit and have her take half if I run that risk. I thought you were about to say something.
I forgot what it was. Oh, no, I was saying now they also have apps.
Right. Yeah, they have sex apps.
I don't mean to sound like, I don't mean to date myself. But what I'm trying to say, well, I guess, never mind. But what I'm trying to say is, I've never used a dating app because I haven't been single when that was popular. But it is amazing. You can just throw people's faces away like they're garbage until you pick the one you want to bang.
Right, yeah.
That seems bad.
Wait, I'm sorry, Dave, you're saying that objectifying women and just picking the one that you would like to bang is a bad thing.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
It seems
that is a bad thing.
Counterintuitive to a feminist movement.
It does seem counterintuitive. By the way, thanks, feminists, for all the porn. Because now they're feminists like, no, you said body positivity, right? It was about, it was art, something like that.
Empowerment.
Thank you. Now you are less desirable to a lot of men.
Why is Ron Jeremy in jail? Isn't he the king of body positivity?
Yes, he is.
But also, not even that. Now that you have gone out and said, this free your body, let the women, this is empowering to you. Now you have the potential of ending up in a relationship with a man who has seen the very, very best. I'm sorry, porn is absolutely horrific, but airbrushing and just cutting scenes together. You've seen what the best of sex could possibly be, which is completely unattainable. It's not real. And now they go into a relationship where it underperforms, and all of a sudden the thing that was meant to bring you guys together in a way that nothing else could is a disappointment.
Well, but horrific's a word.
horrific.
Gerald's the one who started throwing horrific around.
Listen, porn is horrific.
No,
that is not my story. Thank God it's
terrific.
not. But
I heard you say terrific.
Nobody took a girl on a first date and was like, "Listen, I just when we get to the movies, use your feet on me."
Just
put on the strap on.
Yes.
I read it in a children's book.
I read it at the school library.
Well, yeah, that's what.
The best part of that children's book is the kid going, I don't. This isn't how I expected it. Let's do something else. Yeah. What are you going to go back to? Riding bikes?
Yeah.
You two going to go fishing?
Yeah. You think after servicing your transgender sister with a strap on that you can go back to having fun on your fixie?
Yeah. Just time to go back and play a little Nintendo.
This is all one big advertisement for this is boring. Pow pow power wheels.
Yeah.
Hey.
I didn't know.
Now you're sucking for real.
All right, here's another complaint that you see from women, and and by the way, women out there, I would love to hear your comments, but we get these chat feedbacks all the time, and you're seeing liberals writing about these from a different perspective. They just want to come up with a different solution, which is more emasculization. So men are lazy slobs. You see this argument made a lot. Guess what? That's absolutely true in a lot of ways. Men in the 40s, boys, teenagers, were storming the beaches of Normandy. You look at the 1930s, you look at the 1940s, you look at the Greatest Generation, you look at what they were doing. And if they weren't doing that, if there hadn't been a war, they'd be working in the factory lines, or they'd be starting a business anyway, or they'd be out there learning a trade. Even after they had gone to college, if they were so lucky to have gone to university. Nowadays, you're more likely to run into a 30-something-year-old sort of Seth Rogen archetype living with a bunch of roommates in an apartment. It's an actual syndrome called second adolescence. This is what we have right now. And let's ask why. Why did we go from storming the beaches? And I'm not just talking about the draft. Why did we go from the kinds of men, and even lower testosterone levels, by the way, that's a fact historically right now. Men have lower testosterone levels than their grandfather. Why did we make that transition? Could it be because feminists and women, by and large, and this is also not just feminists, you see this with moms and boys a lot. And I know that you don't mean to do it, but women naturally recoil at what a boy actually is. It's very foreign to them sometimes how physical, how violent, how aggressive they are, how assertive. Guess what? These are also the same characteristics that make men leaders in times of war, that make men great CEOs of companies. All the things that you portray as toxic masculinity, I'm not talking about beating women. I'm not talking about objectifying women. I'm talking about someone being assertive in a leadership role with respect and admiration, which is what men have wanted. It's what they've always wanted. It's what would make them most happy today. And instead, you've demonized it and now ask where all the real men have gone to. It's a really stark contrast, and you can see it biochemically in hormone levels.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of BPA in the plastic. And you don't care about that because you just think that's a xenoestrogen, but you want to inject boys with estrogen anyway. So shut up.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, you've also told men that if you hit, I remember the Gillette commercial where a guy saw a pretty girl walking by and he was about to go and try to talk to her, and his buddy was like, no, bro. And I'm like, so now you've even told us, like, we can't even try to get to know you. We can't even try to say, hi, my name's Gerald. You know, like, hey, I've seen you walking here before, or anything like that. Like, guy wasn't making cat calls.
Let me give you an exact example, okay, what I'm talking about.
The Me Too movement, though, not cut you up, but the Me Too movement did that. It confused dating with rape.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Why do you think guys are afraid to date a lot of the time? It's not even the fault of, in my opinion, women in the workplace. I think it's this entire movement that made men actually scared.
That's a huge component to it as well.
Henry Cavill said that. He said it's scary to date.
And accessible pornography makes it like, well, you know what? I'm not in a rush.
Well, you can retroactively be raped because you regretted having consensual sex with someone.
No, these are two different things. I'm saying women placing priority and a premium on the workplace and really sort of belittling the job of motherhood is what has caused women to be less happy today, statistically, more rates of depression. And what I'm talking about, the separate issue, though, is true. The reason men have also left the dating pool. There are two separate issues, but you're absolutely right. And you know what? This is something else to keep in mind. I'll give you an exact story.
Okay.
Violence is not immoral. Violence is amoral, just like money. Money can be used to, I can go give that to a starving child, I can go give it to my church, or I can go and buy crack.
One time during the war, I visited a prostitute.
One time, yeah.
And my life's been a living hell ever since.
And by prostitute, I mean 9, but it was all at once. So
yes, they were all in Paris.
They loved me long.
What are you,
time.
DK Metcalf?
So, I have a relative. I won't say this person's name. Lives in New York. And when
we
you
call
say
him Darren.
When you say I do need it, no, it's not Darren. It's not Darren.
Joking.
So let me finish the story because this is important. Women are going to go, well, we don't want men who are walking around smacking women. No, I'm not saying that. You don't. What you do want, though, is a man who's going to protect you and respect and honor you. And I will say this is a relative of mine who's a Christian and was on a subway in New York. And this man, and he did happen to be of African-American origin. I don't know, could have been from Barbados. That's an entirely racist term. Black. He was harassing somebody on the subway, and this man's wife, I almost said, this man's wife, my relative, was just looking. And the man looked at her and he said, just if you have kids, I'm going to tell you, he said, yeah, bitch, why don't you come over here and sit on my crotch? Now, that's what we're talking. That is an example of toxic masculinity. That's a man who had no respect for this woman.
Right.
My relative got up and said, what did you say? Big guy, size of my dad, 6'2", 220. Said, what did you say? What did you say? And he started getting up in his face. And then his wife said, no, stop. He said, no, what do you want to say that again? And the guy was kind of getting a little bit mouthy. And his wife said, hey, stop. What would Jesus do? I swear to you. And he said, Jesus got off 3 stops ago. I'm about to kick the shit out of this guy. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Are you going to say to me that what my relative did was just as immoral as the man on the subway? So let's clearly differentiate. The problem is you vilified all of it. Yes, of course, it's a tenet of feminism, but also, mothers, be very, very careful when you are raising boys, because I think all boys have at some point been admonished or realized there's just a disconnect where sometimes mothers don't understand that boy behavior is boy behavior. You need to bridle it. You don't want to try and snuff it out. Okay.
Unless you want a train full of men like we saw the other day where this woman gets hit and there's not a good man
There's not
on
a
the train.
single good man. So toxic masculinity runs rampant when actual masculinity is not encouraged and taught and fostered.
Yes.
That's the issue there. A real man who is aggressive, who is assertive, who is confident, who is loyal, punches the man hitting a woman in the face, right? Lays his cloak down over a puddle. That's the idea. Why do you think chivalry's dead? That goes back to Dave's point. Why do you think it's dead? Because someone might open a door for you and be accused of being a sexist. Catcalling, no one's supporting catcalling. Hey, you have beautiful eyes. It's not a catcall. And you wonder why the dating pool isn't so great. Yeah. Okay. And this is something else, too. Women have changed what they want in men. Men used to want someone like my relative. Men used to want a man who would say, hey, you're beautiful. Men used to want a man who was assertive. Sorry, women used to want a man who was assertive. Well, you know. Maybe,
I was confused there for a second. I was like, what?
Then women switch with postmodernism, saying, actually, we want a man who's sensitive and is in touch with his feelings, and more importantly, in touch with our feelings. You don't want a man who's in touch with your feelings. You want a man who listens to your feelings. You don't want a man who understands it from a first-person perspective. Just like you don't want to understand why your man's head is disgusting from a first-person perspective. You want to listen to him.
You don't want this.
You don't want this.
You don't want
You want to support each other. But you really shouldn't understand it firsthand. And instead you've feminists and a lot of women have seen it. It's easier. It's easier to have a house cat. It's easier to have a tamed horse than to have to tame a wild one. But the reward is different. And now you have men who don't defend their wives on subways. Okay?
Well, men naturally want to solve a problem where women, kind of want to talk.
Yes, that's true.
Wow, I just put that in a way that it did not mean to sound as bad as it did.
Thanks, I ain't going to make... No, I'm going to be in trouble. No, I understand what you're saying. Women talk about their feelings, whereas men don't. Yeah.
Well, women don't actually want that, though. Their bodies... Trust me, I have a cousin who's a Marine. He's like 6'3", looks like Matt Damon on steroids. And women just will, flock to him because of the natural, wanting to be with a John Wayne type. You know what I mean? and you see it happen.
These are the weirdest examples. You picked like 5'4" Matt Damon and John Wayne, who walked like he was at a full street fair.
John Wayne was all man, son.
Hey,
I'm going to take you out, sonny boy.
John, well, you know what I mean. John Wayne was a man.
Like the Frankenstein autoplay Halloween decoration. I don't know.
John Wayne was a man.
I did the mash. I did the monster mash. So,
I mean, he was a little, light in the loafers.
Yeah.
But all those.
Yeah. Here's another complaint, too. I got to keep going through this, and thank you for the likes that you guys, because I do want to make sure.
Almost up to 40.
Let's get a few more.
This is something you hear women complain about now once they reach a certain point. Well, a lot of men don't want children anymore. That's actually that's actually not true.
I hate you, kid.
It's like Wolfman.
That is way too happy to be abusive.
Yeah, he's like, I got your backpack, you piece of shit.
I'm surprised his hand wasn't like this.
Yeah.
Like, I got your backpack.
What do you want? Oh, you want Dunkaroos? Oh, yeah, Dunkaroos. Give me that.
That is
my
not
snack
his
pack.
dad.
No. No, here's the thing. Most men don't want kids anymore. That's actually not true. Most men don't want kids with you. That's something that is a really tough pill to swallow. And by the way, because of leftist feminists, this has affected all women. Just so you know. Just so you know. All women, you're saying, not me. Yes, you're affected by it. You may not believe the things that feminists have espoused, but you've allowed them to speak for you and your community for so long that now you have men with no testosterone in their system and transgenders flooding your lesbian dating apps. This is all from you. We didn't have a say in this. So, men don't want children with you. Why? Probably because most women are well into their 30s before they even think about it, and they place a priority on careers at this point. That's not all that interesting to men. Throw in a lifetime of promiscuity on top of it. Guess what? Guys will play the field in college. They don't want to marry a whore. What are you saying, whore? Had sex with lots of people. Clear enough for you? You may say, I'm not a whore. Great. You say that. Men still think you are. They don't want kids with you. Well, you're gonna live with a guy? You're going to have 5, 10, 20 sexual partners, live with a guy before you get married, and then at 36 up and decide that you want to have kids and wonder why he thinks that's a bad bargain? You've given away all your chips.
God, I'm right here.
And here's something else, too. A lot of men think it's signing away their life. Why? Because now a man used to look at the prospect of having kids, okay? And a man used to look at this and say, okay, I have a loyal wife, a wife who probably the woman of my youth, right? High school sweetheart was very common, like your parents. My parents got to know each other very young.
I married my wife.
You married your wife very young, so that you grow up together. Yeah. You're close with each other. And then, used to be, woman stayed home, took care of the kids. That was her job. And you brought home the bacon. You came home, you played with the kids, you spent some time with them, maybe took them to a game, and then you could recharge for the next day. But now the expectation is somewhere in your 30s, your woman is going to work. It's going to be a dual household income. You're going to work all day as a man. A man feels he's going to work all day, come home, and then have to be Mr. Mom. And he's going, you know what? I'll just stay single, and I don't need that much money. I can get a flex job.
Yeah.
They've been let off the hook.
Yeah, and we going back to your last example, we hold men to the same standard. Of
course.
You know what I mean? Like, if men are out sleeping around, we don't look at that and clap. No. I mean, I know the movies portray it that way, but that's not real life.
You're talking to the guy who was condemned for writing about abstinence, to be clear. It was said, I was told, this is sexist. How could you degrade women this way? By not having sex with them?
Yeah. How dare you reject them, you golden penis syndrome person?
It's almost like you're the kind of bitch who would be offended if I held open the door.
I feel like a real scumbag.
You really do. Dave, you've been sexist your whole life.
No, I'm just saying
sexist. I was totally monogamous with a bunch of bitches.
I was monogamous at the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
every one of them.
He had a rotating door installed at his cotillion.
That's true.
And a slide on the other side of the room.
You never knew it.
It was really more of a revolving trebuchet that slung you right into a Vietnamese sex hammock.
Oh, jeez.
What?
Wow. How did I?
What is this, Hellraiser?
If you're gonna say yes, after vomiting, who am I to say no?
All right, here's another one too that we have. Men are cheaters. Women complain about this quite a bit, right? That men are cheaters. You can bring up that image there, Quarter Black Carrot. No,
or Token Owen. Probably the.
No, it's Token Owen.
Anybody.
He was just transfixed.
We're bringing that back.
I don't know if cheating has increased statistically or not, but it certainly seems like it's something that people talk about.
Yeah.
In other words, it's something that men are more open about. I don't know. This is something you hear. Feminists, were you expecting monogamy and fidelity? I don't understand this one. I don't understand how you can be upset about this when you change the rules. It'd be like Jada Pinkett Smith being mad that Will cheated.
Yeah.
But that was the arrangement.
You mean with a woman?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
The whole idea, though, of monogamy, fidelity, these are traditional Christian values. You shunned them. You said that's awful. That's the patriarchy. Well, great. Now you're with the sexual revolution. It's not cheating. It's the code of rules you wrote. Is it me? No, I don't even think this one needs to be that long.
No, it doesn't.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you this.
Obvious.
Let me use this as an example, because I know that everyone's always edgy atheist now because it's the thing to do. Maybe, and you hear this a lot. Maybe women out there, feminist atheists, don't need a God to tell them not to murder. Like, if you need a God to tell you not to murder, you're a horrible person. You hear that all the time. Okay, so maybe feminist atheists out there, right? And this is obviously tied when you look at the sexual revolution. It was this idea of shunning Christianity, and so you can call it pseudo spirituality, which evolved into atheism, whatever you want to call it. But certainly, if you look at the roots, also where it's tied with Marxist theory, and you understand that that's a distinctly atheist ideology, I'm not too far off base. I understand not all feminists are atheists, but most. Okay, so maybe a feminist atheist, maybe female atheists out there, maybe you don't need a God to tell you not to murder. I'll grant you that. But I tell you what, a straight man definitely needs a God to tell him not to cheat on his wife. Because let me tell you something. That's actually this idea that, like, really? Everyone knows. No. Not only does everyone not know that infidelity is wrong, it was actually mocked and seen as a weakness in every society, almost every society. I don't want to misspeak, until modern Christendom, and still is in the developing world. You're seen as impotent and a loser unless you're banging everything you possibly can.
Yeah. It's hardwired into your bodies. You have to control those types of things. And Christianity gave us the ability to control those types of things, right?
You may not need a God to tell you not to steal. You may not need a God to tell you not to murder. By the way, it's a bullshit argument because there are tribes that murder all the time. The Native Americans would kill women and children and scalp, and they didn't see any problem with it. They didn't have concept of personal property. However, let's say today you don't think it's a byproduct of modern Judeo-Christian society, but feminists say, well, I don't need a God to tell me not to steal or kill. Straight men absolutely need a God to tell them not to cheat and to stay with one woman, period. Nothing in our hardwiring tells us to do that.
Yeah. Well, society has also cheapened what it is that is actually going on when you have what we call an affair. We talked about this the other day, and you said in French that's kind of like a thing.
Affaire just means thing.
It's kind of a throwaway thing. No, it's a physical act with your penis and her vagina. Let's just be very, very clear of what's going on here. I mean,
not always exclusively.
It could be,
yes.
That's one.
Depends on the definition of is. Yeah.
But then we have instances with, say, like a Kobe Bryant or some famous athlete that goes out there and does something horrifically bad. No, I'm saying he does something horrifically bad, and we're like, oh, but he's
crashes a helicopter.
No, he didn't
too
do
soon,
that.
bro.
It's been a while.
That's gonna.
I'm just saying, like we have looked over this.
What did he? No, I don't follow sports. Did he was sexually assaulted somebody?
He was accused of sexual assault, but what he did was
cheating on his wife.
But he made amends with it, though.
No, I understand.
And that's what I like about Kobe is he came clean about it, and he switched to the way that he was living around.
Right.
The point,
and I really did admire
Magic
that.
Johnson.
Yeah,
agreed. To the day he dies, we'll claim he's straight as an arrow.
No, and I'm not saying you're not saying that. I'm just saying
Kobe Bryant, though. The point is how the public reacted.
Right.
The public always reacts, oh, well, this person is our guy.
Because you can shame anybody that you want. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, and then you've got people like JFK who's still lauded in Democratic circles, and he's like, he would sleep with anything that came through the White House.
Marilyn Monroe slept with every Kennedy except Ted.
Yeah.
It's like Ted was the one left out. Can you
Ted
imagine
was
being
swimming.
Ted?
Yeah, he was a little dangerous.
He was in the pool. He was like, how about you bring that over here? Sing me happy birthday.
Yeah, she thought...
You're gross.
She thought a bottle of benzos was a better idea than getting in a car with him.
No, that's what we've done. We've cheapened in society what it means. Like, we've given people passes for this.
Yeah.
And we should never have given them passes for this. And you're right. Men can make amends. Men can change how they live. Men can make up for their mistakes. So I'm not saying that about Kobe. But there's so many times where we just turned a blind eye because he was our favorite player. He was our favorite politician. He was our favorite businessman. We just turned a blind eye to it and said, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
But what if you have that relationship with somebody where you are allowed to do that? I mean, because there are people that
that's different. But what I'm saying is most women don't want that.
That's also moronic.
Most women don't want that. And most women aren't happy with
it.
You
think two women at once is moronic? I mean, for me,
I think
it would
being
be.
in an open relationship is stupid.
Anybody would have to look at me from behind and be like, "You're not going to like this."
Well, it depends how big the women are. It might just be two women stuffing you into a cubby.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh, dragon test? No, they're just putting you in a cubby.
I want to be a little koala.
So look,
I just think I understand
what you're saying.
There's so many different. Yeah, I don't know.
There aren't that many different. That's the thing. That women, as a general rule, they want overwhelmingly the same things, and now they're frustrated. Women, many of you are frustrated that you aren't finding it. Women overwhelmingly want to have kids. Yeah. Women overwhelmingly find satisfaction in it, want to have a husband who is faithful to them. Women want to have a stable home life, and you know what? It's unavailable to you now for the same reason that you had no control over the shit your kids were learning until you woke up this last year. Take an active role. This is a call out to women out there to do what men generally do. I spoke with my wife about this yesterday. She said, like, hey, make sure, can you speak when you ask, I don't remember I don't want to out anybody. I always have to be careful. Again, because my wife is like, don't discuss this. Well, men are like, hey, you can say whatever you want. Like, can I, I'll be like, hey, a quarter black, can I tell them about that time you got your dick caught in a meat grinder? Like, sure, whatever, if it works on the show. Whereas
fully recovered.
Hilarious. Like, don't tell them about the fact that, I only have 6 pairs of underwear, whatever the hell it is. It's like, no one cares.
Dark Knight.
Dotson, we got 6 pairs of underwear here. See, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So the issue here, though, is I said to my wife, I said, do you have any idea how men talk with men, how we treat each other? I said, I think you would be horrified if a man, if I were to, for example, speak to you the way that I speak with Gerald or Dave. And I love Gerald and I love Dave and I love Garrett, but the way we talk with each other. And by the way, do you know the reason that I don't speak with my wife that way? Just this is just the ABCs of me, because the Bible tells me I need to be gentler and kinder with my wife. Why? Because women are the kinder, the gentler, and yes, the weaker of the sexes physically. More empathetic.
Well, they
more
are
sensitive.
Emotional goofballs.
They're a little
wacky.
silly.
Come on.
Goodness.
Oh, come on, laugh.
I want to see the ladies commenting
kidding.
in the chat.
They know that I'm kidding. I love bitches be shopping.
How dare you?
Sorry,
what are you, Sinbad?
I keep using the B word.
Sinbad. No, here's another thing,
it's just a funny term to use while talking about.
And this brings us to the end point as to how crazy it's gotten. Now you have people complaining, women, and this is a bit of a straw man, but it's just, I needed one more complaint to run it out to 7. The dating pool is filled with transgenders. And I acknowledge it's a bit of a strong man.
Brandon
but I just bring this up as an example. This is very important. A lot of women now are saying what happened to women-only spaces. You saw this in Loudoun County. What was a 20-point switch because a boy in a skirt raped a girl? Well, here's the other part that you don't hear about that. Guess who covered it up, and guess who didn't believe the girl? Was a woman in a rainbow T-shirt. Yep. The mom of the boy in the skirt just came out and said, this is actually true. Almost a direct quote. This just came out yesterday. We wrote about it on the website. I'll reference the bill at loudwithcutter.com. Said, she was willing, if it was rape, she'd be kicking, screaming, anything to get rid of it. And it was supposed to be, if you have kids, have them leave now. 3, 2, and it was supposed to be vaginal. It might have been anal for 10 seconds, and it was an accident. And then he was concerned about her. And she actually said this. He touched her forehead. What does that mean, you crazy coot? He touched her forehead. It was women who, why? In the name of tolerance, said, transgender bathroom policy. And I say this because there are a lot of chickens that have come home to roost here. Women, guess what? Men have always, fix this shit. They have always opposed biological men being in women's bathrooms. They have always opposed biological men beating up on women in sports. And poll after poll after poll shows a majority of women support it. Until they start raping your kids. Because it seems empathetic to go, who am I? And this is what's beautiful about you. Women are more empathetic. Women are gentler. Women are kinder. They do put themselves in someone else's shoes. That's a good quality. However, you need to be able to see around the bend. And it starts with however anyone wants to identify, regardless of science, regardless of biology, and it ends with women getting concussed in combat sports and your daughters being raped. And then a 20-point swing in the vote. Guess what? We opposed it, meaning we, men, all along the trail. Of course, the active feminists supported it, right? Third wave feminism. There are some who fight against it, but they've largely most of them are scared into silence through being called a TERF, and that works on women, right? It doesn't work on guys like, I'm a TERF. What, you mean that I believe that a penis is a thing? Okay, whereas women go, right. oh, turf, I don't want people to think I'm mean. It's okay. It's okay for people to think you're mean if you know you're not doing it out of malice, but out of principle. Because you know that someone with a cock shouldn't be in your daughter's bathroom.
Right. And I need to be clear because YouTube gets a little pissy on some of these things. We are not saying that transgender people pose a significant threat to raping all of your kids.
I said person with a cock.
Well, exactly.
Just to be clear, that could be,
there you go.
Hey, leftists, that could be a man, woman. Your guess is as good as mine. It's a 50-50 shot, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say transgender. I said person with a cock.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was a boy in a skirt.
Yep.
Look, there's a problem with it because anyone who is seeking to take advantage of the, weaker sex in women's bathrooms, in this case, in girls' bathrooms, whether they happen to be transgender or they happen to be a boy in a skirt taking advantage of the policy, it allows the predatory to take advantage of the vulnerable.
Yeah.
And yes, physically, women are always more vulnerable at the hands of a male attacker than the average male. Notice, women aren't dominating in men's sports, biological women. Notice, you're not getting sexual assaults taking place in men's bathrooms from biological women. We don't even have a dog in that fight. The reason that men opposed it is because we said, ooh, this is going to be bad for women. Why? Because we know people who have penises, biological men. We know how they think. We know how they act. We know the risk that it poses to you for the same reason that you've accused us of being controlling. We want to make sure that you have your phone on when you're out by yourself. We want to make sure that we know where you are, that you don't go into alleyways. Why? Because good men, it's a double-edged sword, but they want to protect their women. They want to love their women and make sure that they are safe. It's almost like that's the primary character trait that's important in a husband. But you vilified that for a long time. So women, let me just recap this and then we'll go and take your chat. Sorry, I know this is a long show today. It's a marathon, 2 marathon shows this week.
Ooh.
Women want a man who's more sensitive, right, to get rid of toxic masculinity, a man who's in touch with his feminine side. They want a man who has a college degree now. They want a man who makes more money than them on average. There are a lot of these sort of conditions that have been created versus back. If you look back in the 1950s, they wanted a man who was a protector, a provider, head of household, good leader. And if you look at men, what they want today in 2021, it's the exact same. It's the exact same. It hasn't changed. The primary gripes from men, same as back then. I don't know if she's going to work. Why? She's not hot enough. Physical attraction, important for men. We're visual animals. I don't know. She doesn't seem very nice. Men want a woman who's attractive, a woman who's nice, kind, nurturing, loyal. As a wife, by the way. Income, doesn't matter. We don't care. Sense of humor, as long as I can make you laugh. We don't have to share a sense of humor. We have to share interests in sports, so we've all been told that now, right? Oh, what do you have in common? Guess who had very little in common? Men and women since the beginning of always up until the 1960s. It doesn't matter. I don't want to marry a drinking buddy. I want to marry a dame. That's why I have a wife. I don't give a shit if she's a fan of Georges St. Pierre. As a matter of fact, I'd be worried if she was that into it. We've placed an emphasis on all the wrong things, and the truth is men still want the same things in women that they wanted 50, 60 years ago, and feminists have allowed women, you, to be led by the nose down a trail that leads to, well, hopefully this trail continues leading out of where you found yourselves, because I want women to be happy, I want women to be safe, I want women to be protected, and you know what? Virginia was a good start. Let's try and build some real momentum with that, okay? And don't be guilted. Certainly not from some racist assholes on Twitter. All right, let's smash that like button one last time. You guys can comment below. This one went late today. Rumble.
Let's get to 50.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And YouTube, we appreciate you, Zero. Piss off.